Alright, I'm gonna show you how to wax your snowboard today. Save you a lot of money. Um, it takes around like an hour and a half, 2 hours if you let the wax dry out. Okay, the first thing you wanna do when you're waxing your board is you wanna clean your base off. It collects a lot of dust from just riding and dirt and stuff. Uh, Base cleaners, just anything that has a citrus in it. I use like a Clorox bleach, works fine. Anything that's just gonna get all that off. You should wanna use paper towels and your whatever you wanna use for your base cleaner. Make sure it's all dry before you start to wax your board, though. Next step is to get all your supplies ready. What you're gonna need for waxing your board, you're gonna need a brush like this. I use like a potato brush, or if you want to use from your house. A strong bristle brush, like a horsehair brush, would be good. You're gonna need a scraper to scrape your wax off. You're gonna need a little. It's like a burr remover tool. It gets the rust out of your edges. It's like $2 at your store or whatever. You're gonna need your wax. Use CH6 wax from Swix. That's perfect for man-made snow and powder. It's hard wax, and blue wax. You can also use candle wax for wax. Most people don't know that, but it's paraffin wax. It's the same thing as your snowboard wax, but your snowboard wax is gonna have additives in it to make it last longer and be stronger on your board. Candle wax is good for soft snow. It's not gonna be good for hard snow. It wears off like after 3 or 4 times you ride, but it does work as wax. And last, you're gonna need your iron. You're not gonna be able to use your iron for clothes. You have to use it for waxing. So don't use your mom's iron or anything like that. Okay, this next step is called burr removing, or removing the rust from your edges. You just want to take your hand block and rub it up down the edge where you need that rust removed, and it should come right off. This is not necessary, but it helps. Okay, this next step is the waxing part. It takes a long time. Take your time. Be generous with the wax. If you take a long time, be patient. It's gonna pay off in the end. So, first you want to get your iron ready. Set it to a good temperature. You want to melt the wax and like not like barely melt it. You want to melt it a lot, but you don't want it to be smoking. If it's smoking, then it's too hot. So just find a good temperature. It's not that hard. If you put it too hot, though, you can ruin your snowboard. If you heat your base up too much, it will actually pop off from your snowboard, and you're pretty much screwed then. So to start the waxing, what you want to do is you want to hold your iron. I hold mine upside down because I think it gives a more accurate drip. You want to push your wax against the iron and let it drip off the board, drip off your iron onto your board, and be generous. Like I said, like do S's down the board or whatever you want to do. I usually go down the edges first and then come back and do an S through it, and then okay, after you're done with dripping all over your board, it should look like this. And then what you want to do is you want to like wax your board like you're waxing your clothes. You want to make sure it spreads evenly throughout all your boards. Make sure you get it really good on your edges. You want it to be flush on your edges. That's where your wax comes off faster. So just make sure it covers all of it, and it should be like a doll. Like if you're buffing a car, it should look like that when you're done with the waxing part. So, yep, get that done first. While you're ironing your board, it's a good idea to feel underneath your board to feel for the heat. It's okay if it's warm. It shouldn't be hot to the touch. If you can't hold your hand on it, it's way too hot and you need to take a break from your iron. This is what your board should look like after you're done waxing it. It should be like a dull color, like if you just waxed your car. But we gotta buff it like you have to buff your car, so it looks all nice and shiny and good. Alright, this next part is very important. Your board don't go faster at all if you don't do this step. It's scraping the wax off that you just put on. I know it sounds like, why would you do that? You just wasted. What happens when you wax it, when you use a hot wax, is you're actually heating up the base of the board, just open the pores up of the on the base, and then it soaks the wax into that, and that's what makes your board go fast. You need to scrape off all that excess. Um, all your little scrapes and gouges in your board, your wax is not going to fill that up. To fill that up, you can go to your local ski shop and buy something called P-Tex. It's like looks like a candle, and you pretty much, it's like what your board is made up, and you fill that in there. So when you're scraping, don't be afraid to get dirty. You need to scrape all of that wax off to get a good fast ride. Um, Use your different angles of your and do different sizes of your scrapers to get different parts of your board. Make sure your edges are scraped good, and just don't go light on it. You know when you're done scraping when there's no more wax coming off. Also, when you're scraping, make sure you're going vertical with the board. Don't go horizontal, or else you'll just ruin all that wax you just put on. You have to redo the whole thing. Make sure you're always going vertical whenever you're doing anything when you're waxing, because you're going with the grains of the board, not horizontal. Alright, this next step is the last step, and probably the most commonly skipped step. It's buffing your board and brushing your board. Just first off, start off by wiping off all your wax with like a rag or whatever. Then you want to grab a brush or a Scotch-Brite pad or whatever you have. Well, Scotch-Brite pad works the best, and like a horsehair brush will work good too. What you want to do is you want to go down your board vertical with long streaks all the way down it. And what this will do is create grooves in your board for the water to run off so it doesn't stick. And it makes your performance way better on the snow. And it's often skipped in waxing. It's one of the most important parts. So you just want nice grooves all the way down your board vertical. It'll make you go really fast. A good test to see if your board is pretty well waxed is put it on your carpet and just give it a light little push, and it should slide easily across the carpet without having to push hard. And you're good to go. Thanks for watching.